And now to see just how kind the weather will be over the next week, here's UNL Extension statewide climatologist Al Dutcher.
Well, folks, here we are again on Friday morning, a fairly uneventful week as we only seen one significant cold front come through, and that was in the Wednesday time frame, but it was pretty much moisture starved. Little more than a few sprinkles and drizzle were reported across the state, so overall the dry trend during this last week looks like it's going to continue as we go forward in time. There is some slight chances of moisture moving up from the south, and particularly for the area south of Interstate 80 as we move through this weekend, but overall it looks like a significant warming trend is in store. Now, what the concern is with the wheat breaking dormancy and of course the warm temperatures that have been pretty persistent across the southern plains for the last few weeks, that if we continue to see these extended temperatures in the 60s into the 70s without any significant cooling at night, that we're going to become more and more vulnerable to a late freeze, particularly as you get to Kansas southward with the crop so far advanced, at least the wheat crop. So it's something we'll have to pay attention to because these warm temperatures are well ahead of where we would expect to see for this time of the year. Does this warm trend continue, or do we have any moisture in the forecast? Let's take a look at the upper air models and see what we have in store. And as we go to the upper air models, the one thing I'll draw your attention to is that we do have a trough across the northeast, and we do have this upper air low that's been split from this flow across the southern plains region. And this storm is expected to kind of break apart, see one piece of energy moving up into Kansas, and then we'll see a reforming of a low across Texas as the weekend progresses. And we do expect to see some significant flooding and heavy moisture event for the eastern half of Texas and points toward the north and east of the Ohio River Valley as this weekend progresses. So for today, we'll be looking at the coolest temperatures in the northeast close to this jet core. We'll be looking at highs in the low 50s across the northeast. And as we get to the west with a downsloping component with this ridge building in, we'll be looking at highs in the mid 60s. Now as we go to tomorrow, we're going to see this low tries to eject up into eastern Colorado, but the significant moisture is probably going to be around Texas, and that'll cut off that moisture feed to Nebraska. So we're going to be in the lighter end of the precip, particularly in the southern half of the state. The best opportunity will be for the area south of Interstate 80, and the clouds will increase as the day progresses. So we'll be looking at highs possibly in the mid to upper 50s across the southwest. If the cloud cover doesn't materialize, we're going to boost temperatures at least 10 degrees. And in the northwest, where we're closer to this ridge core, we're looking at highs in the upper 60s. Now as we go into Sunday, we're going to notice that storm system, the upper or low, is sitting here over northwest Kansas, but most of the moisture is again to our east. That's going to cut off this moisture getting in, so we'll be looking at more of cloud cover than anything else. We're looking at highs in the mid 50s to upper 50s across the southwest and south central, and as you get up into portions of eastern Nebraska away from the cloud cover, we'll be looking at highs in the lower 60s. Now as we get into Monday, now when we start to see the big warm-up take place, and it's going to be pretty persistent for the next few days. Looking for highs in the upper 60s north to the mid 70s south. And as we get into Tuesday, not much of a change. Again, low 60s to the mid 60s north to the mid 70s south. As we go into Wednesday, pretty much the same persistent conditions. Upper 60s north, mid 70s south. And as we go into Thursday, a slight cool down may be possible. We have a little piece of energy, but I don't think right now it's going to generate anything of any significant moisture. We'll be looking at upper 60s north to the mid 70s south. 8 to 14 indicates the warm conditions will continue from next Thursday through the following Tuesday. And there is signs that a significant storm may develop along the eastern slopes of the Rocky Mountains as we get into late next weekend, early part of the following week.